Assalamu alaikum. We're going to do a three-piece suit, a final going away suit for Sister Sakina. I had one comment from a viewer yesterday that they wanted me to do the maroon. I don't know, I've fallen in love with this green, so we're going to go for the green. We'll leave the maroon for Sister Cindy to experiment and to make herself. Now the jacket, I changed my mind and I've decided to do this as the overcoat. So what we're going to be doing is this overcoat to go with this suit, and so we're going to start off with the simple thing, and the simple thing being the trouser. Now previously I did one of them pajama type of trousers. I'm going to do a straight cut trouser this time. Okay. And I bought 2.5 yards of fabric for this. Now 2.5 yards of fabric. She's a very tall person, and I'm just going to measure to see if this is adequate. If not, then we're going to, well actually no, we're going to do the cut slightly differently so that it's more than enough for even if you're a very tall person and if you have a slight fabric shortage. So we're going to do this as a trouser because I want her to be able to wear this as a casual trouser with anything, with any kind of a top really. And I wouldn't mind even doing a short smallish top as so that she can in black as well. I'm going to see how I am for time. If I get time, I'm going to do her a black top as well. And that way she can wear the all-in-one black suit. I like to do combinations as multiple as possible, because then you've got flexibility to swap around really. You know, you can actually do mix wear, where you've got mix and match combinations. And it's good to have mixed color combinations because it gives you more play around. You know, you're not stuck for what to wear. You've got multiple choices in your wardrobe and you can always swap around. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the one leg of the trouser, well, double leg of the trouser from the one side. The fabric's been folded in double. And I like to keep it as simple as possible. Now all these methods and all these techniques, what you got to remember is they're all tried and tested. So we're not doing anything that we haven't really tried out and we haven't worn ourselves. So we're going to do this approximately about 46 inches, 45 inches in length. And we're just going to basically mark it. And then at the top, dividing her waist measurement into 4, I'm going to be marking it out, which is one of the easiest ways to do this is take your tape measure and just fold it into 4. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this about 14 inches. So we've got a box of approximately 14 inches. And this is for the front leg part. And if you are boxing this off, all you need is a straight line, and then we put inside the box. We mark out inside the box. So marking it on the inside of the box, I'm going to take that length to approximately 12 inches down and 2 inches across and make like a rectangle, and then just curve that. Then I'm going to take an inch off on the waistline and I'm going to angle that out to blend in with the outer seam of the top of the trouser, and then measure it down 12 inches to the hip point and just put a dot there, And on the bottom, what we're going to do is we're going to measure the inside leg, which we want as about 30 inches, and then that we just measure all the way across. Now the second line where I measured it 45, that's the second turning for the trouser. Okay, so this 12 inches, we're going to do a further measurement of halving this 14 inches into halved into 7, and then we're going to take an equal amount, deciding on what we want as our poncha. So we're going to keep the poncha at about 8 inches, so we're going to take 4 on either side of the marking, and we're going to blend that in with the marking of the crutch, and we're going to blend that side in with the marking on the hip point. And then measuring this back up to the same, it's about 3.5 inches, so we've got 3.5 inches is where our turning is going to come. And then if you measure that point, which is 9 inches, and you want 9 inches on this, so 4.5 on either side of this, and that line then gets blended back into with that, and that point, it needs to be folded back up. That point is going to be folded back up, and it needs to, that bottom of that needs to match up with that, and that's why we've sort of decreased it and then increased it. So now we're going to cut away on the one side of so we've got, what we have now is a 2 leg. Going to slightly narrow it off on the waist point. And that's the 2 legs cut out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get now, if this is long enough, I would cut, because I don't want to waste that part of the fabric. If this is long enough, then I'm just going to cut from here, and if this seems short, I think it's long enough, so I don't want to waste that excessive amount. So what we're going to do is going to cut our secondary leg out of this part, and that way the side of that fabric will all be saved for something else, perhaps another trouser or a tunic or whatever we want to make out of it. I think this is more than, yeah, this is far more than adequate, so there's no point in wasting away the fabric. And it might be that we might be able to get a tunic out of that. We'll wait and see. Okay, so getting the secondary leg from this, what I might do is turn this around. Yeah, I'm going to turn this around because I want the bulk of this fabric not to have a cut in it, and I want to save as much as possible. So part of the beauty of sewing is the fact that you're able to, if you're good at your fabric layout, you're going to save a lot of money by working within shortage fabrics, you know, and you're not going to have a problem how to lay your fabric in multiple ways to get the required fitting and the required garment. So, you know, this is knowledge which is a multi-purpose knowledge. Okay, so we're going to use this as the template, but we're going to do slight bit of changes where we're going to be using the outer side of this, about a ½ an inch on the outer side leg, and then on the top where we've curved the front leg, we're going to leave this as an excess space. Also here where the crutch is going to be, we're going to have an upward turn, and then where the actual crutch cutting is, we're going to widen this quite considerably, the length of this, and I'm actually going to lower this even slightly more because I prefer to have a nice long crutch at the back so that it doesn't come off the bottom, and quite wide as well. And as it goes down towards the bottom of the leg, I want to, so this curve, we're going to create it as longer as well. So what we're doing is really using the front cutout pieces as the template, but the second one that we're cutting them with a little bit of modifications, amendments. So the first amendment we've done is we're cutting on the outer line of leaving about ½ an inch excess, making it wider on the back. Here where the front trouser was angled, we're not going to angle this, but we're going to angle it so that it gives the back buttock area far more room. So I'm going to take some of this away so that it almost has like quite a bit of an angle. At the front is drooping in, and on the back it's actually a lot raised, and then this is quite intense. Bearing in mind the person that we're cutting for and the size that we're cutting for, this curve is quite a lot, and normally the depth of this will determine how comfortable the trouser will be. And that's it. That's a very straightforward trouser.